Yo, what up, everybody? So I just saw the Joker movie with Joaquin Phoenix. That shit was crazy. Um, I really like this. It's a review. I don't know if people start doing spoilers yet, so I'm not gonna do a spoiler review. I'm going to silence my phone for a second first, and then I'm going to talk. I'm just gonna talk about the movie. That shit was good, man. It was It was really good actually, and everybody. I keep seeing people, you know, they want to say, "Yo, is it as good as Man of Steel? Is it as good as BVS?" And I don't know. That's hard to say. It was like two different kind of movies. It was one of them. The Joker definitely seemed like a new age taxi driver, with Robert De Niro in it. Robert De Niro was in this movie also, and it seemed more like that. It didn't seem like a superhero movie, a super villain movie, or it just seemed like Taxi Driver. That's what it really reminded me of, like a new age Taxi Driver. And I wouldn't say new age because it looked like just the same, but it was new age for our generation. Um, oh man, that shit was fucking wow. That shit was crazy. I like pretty much everything about it. I like the score and I like the music. I like the shots they set up. The directing was excellent. The scenes was in there directed perfectly. Oh man, I wouldn't even know. I don't really have anything bad to say about it. It was a good fucking movie. No spoilers. Let's see if I can talk about it with no spoilers. It's hard to talk about without spoiling the movie because I like to get in deep, but it did remind me a lot of like the Heath Ledger Joker. It reminded me a lot of that. Like there was a one scene and he's riding in the back of a cop car, and it kind of looked just like when Heath Ledger was riding in the back of the cop car, but Heath Ledger was kind of hanging out the window. So, but it just kind of gave that same feel to it. And a lot of scenes in it kind of gave that same feel of, the Dark Knight. Um, but mainly it reminded me definitely like a Martin Scorsese film, like a something, man. It just the scenes, how it was set up, you know, um, the camera angles, the everything, man. The direction, the music, the lighting, everything just felt like a old movie, like a real early '80s or maybe late '70s type movie, and it was the shit. It threw me for a loop. It kind of foreshadowed a lot what was gonna happen later on to the end, and but still, when you see the ending, it was still wild as fuck. Oh man, it was crazy. It kind of also, there was a lot of like subliminals in there. I gotta watch this again. I want to watch it again so I get a better grasp of it. It was kind a lot of subliminals, but then when you kind of look at it at the end, there was this one scene where everybody cheered for him, and it kind of just instantly made me look at it like yeah, he was a bad guy, and a lot of people can sympathize with him, I guess, how he turned bad and the bad shit he was doing. But I don't know if I could sympathize with that. But there was a certain part at the end when he got a big like standing ovation from a lot of people, and it kind of remind me of like the world today we live in because you know I would say morals and shit. Like a lot of people don't have them. A lot of people just want to see the world fucked up and going wild and all this shit. And that reminds me like the Heath Ledger Joker. He was just like trying to push Gotham over the edge, And this Joker seems like he did push Gotham over the edge, And that was You know, just I kept thinking about the Heath Ledger Joker when I watched this, but also it kept wondering, like, you know, the people outside, you know, and the people, I'm trying not to spoil it, but the people that gave him a big standing ovation, it was like, yo, if you look at it in today's society, that type of person would get that same standing ovation, you know. And then it was, it reminded me of like a little incident you might have seen. They say the Snyder Cut movement was in a little civil war, and it wasn't in a civil war at all. It was just me and a few other my friends standing up for some bullshit that we thought was going on. Well, we know it was going on, but we felt it was bullshit in our mind. And, you know, even looking back on it, it was like some of the people we were, you know, talking shit about doing the bullshit, they still had fans and shit, you know? And it was like, how can you stand around and hang around with some fucking crackhead, vile, idiot people like this, you know? But then you look at this movie and you see, like, that's just where our world is at, you know? Like, even if we standing on our morals and our values and shit, like, we like, dog, we could never do no shit like that. A lot of people feel that way, but then a lot of people feel the certain opposite also. A lot of people don't have those morals and shit. And that, I think that's what separates a lot of people. That's what separates Batman from the Joker. You know? It's just wild to think about, dog. It's wild to think about what world we really live in. And Batman usually gets hunted down, you know. This wild ass Joker usually gets praised. And that's weird to think because you think Batman is the good guy. What world are we really living in? And that's the crazy fucking shit about it, you know? Like, it's just too much to think about, though. It's just a lot to think about. You think about, like, what world do we really, really live in? I got a Release the Snyder Cut hat on, and we know that the Snyder Cut is probably going to be, like, one of the greatest movies that we've seen in our whole lifetime. And then there's people that don't even want to release it. That's so weird. Like, this movie makes you think about really what world do you live in, dog? Really, really, what you think you're standing on morals and values, but is the crowd behind you, or are you standing by yourself? And I've noticed, usually you're standing by yourself. Me, but I don't give a fuck. But watch this movie. Definitely go see the Joker movie. I kind of want to see what's coming next. I definitely want to see what's coming next. I know you look in the DCEU and you got Harley Quinn and that shit. I don't think those movies are going to be like this movie, but I'm willing to enjoy them just the same. Why? Because I'm not a bitch. You are. You bitch!